Hey, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another session of The Sanctuary. This is our space for reflection, growth, and connection. I'm your girl and guide, Mariah Miles, licensed therapist, minister, and overall creative. And I'm so glad you're here with me today. We're here in February, wrapping up our month of gratitude, following along with the prompts from my journal, Busy Minds, Peaceful Hearts. It's been such a powerful month. Let's reflect. So sit back, relax. It's time to tune in. As we close out this month, we've explored the abundance in our lives, embraced the complexities of our loneliness, and explored how art can impact our emotional expression. We've also looked at our cultural norms around resilience and strength, and really how societal pressures can sometimes lead to isolation. We've carried forward our January theme of reflection and brought along embracing transitions and how gratitude can be a transformative practice that shifts our perspective. Today we're diving in a little bit deeper, and we're talking about that what's next feeling. You know what I'm talking about? That moment when we achieve a goal and we're left wondering what comes next. So we're going to explore that and the cyclical nature of life and how gratitude is not just a practice. Nope, not just a practice to get us to goals, but a way of being that sustains us beyond them. We'll also touch on those less than helpful coping mechanisms that keep sometimes creeping in. You know what I'm talking about? So before we dive in, let's ground ourselves. Today's somatic practice is the physiological sigh. So I invite you to find a comfortable position. If you feel comfortable, gently close your eyes or soften your gaze. And let's begin by taking a deep breath in through your nose, filling your belly, your lungs, and then hold that and see if you can sip in a smaller breath just on top of the first. And hold that one briefly. And exhale slowly and completely through your mouth, letting go of any tension, feeling the weight of the shoulder slump. And we're going to repeat this sequence a few times together. And then I'll invite you to explore it on your own and just kind of notice how your body feels. And so what I didn't say is on the out breath, you can literally exhale or sigh it out, right? So it's audible. So let's try again. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, feel your belly swell, your lungs expand, and hold that. Take a second to sip in a smaller breath, just on top of the first, and hold that briefly. And then gently exhale slowly and completely through your mouth, and as you do, creating that audible sigh, letting go of any tension, feeling the weight of the shoulder slump. Inhale deeply through your nose. Feel your belly, your lungs, your heart expand. Hold the breath. Sip in a little bit more. And then slowly exhale completely through your mouth, sighing it out. Letting go of any tension. Just feeling the weight drain from your body. And now I invite you to repeat this sequence on your own with your own flow. Just noticing how your body feels. What are you experiencing? What does the breath feel like as it moves through your body? Just going at your own pace. Noticing the sensations. I'll let you be. So wherever you're at, I invite you to finish the round of breath and allowing yourself to come back to this space. And this practice really helps us regulate our nervous system. It invites your body to come to the forefront of your awareness. I want to invite you to close your eyes and use your imagination. I'd like you to envision a river. Allow yourself to use all your senses. What do you see? What colors are present? Are there any textures? What do you feel here? Are there any sounds or smells? You see, life is a lot like a river. There are times where the water is calm and smooth. It's flowing effortlessly. And then there are other times where the current is stronger and we encounter rapids and obstacles, the challenges of the process. And when we achieve a goal, it's like reaching a wider part of the river. The current might slow, and we have a moment to pause. And perhaps we appreciate the journey that we've taken. It's also a lot like the seasons. The journey of reaching a goal, all the hard work, maybe the self-doubt. And it's like a long, cold winter. And then spring arrives, right? The big finale. And whatever it is you were working towards has been completed. And then there's a sense of relief. Just like the first warm days, right? Can you envision what that feels like? I invite you to engage with some reflection questions to help us integrate the month's lessons. And so you might reach for your journal or a notebook or a sketch pad, or maybe you just sit with it, whatever feels right for you in this moment. And I invite you to be still. And ponder. What practices help me cultivate gratitude this month? And you can always pause the recording. I'll be here. You can just follow along. Whatever comes to you, comes to you. How did my reflections shape my intentions for the year ahead? What insights do I carry forward? I invite you to think about a goal you achieved recently, or something that you worked really hard for. How did you feel after you reached it? What was the what's next feeling like for you? And what did you learn about yourself and your values through that process? I invite you to take your time here with these questions. There's no right or wrong answer, and just allow yourself to really feel into it, to remember and to connect with the wisdom that resides within you. Invite you back in from that pondering moment of stillness. If you still need some time to continue your thoughts, most definitely take that. I'm going to be a little vulnerable and share a personal example of my own goal that I worked really hard on. I recently passed my licensure exam, and it has been a bit of a transition. I'm reflecting a lot and remembering the years of studying, the countless hours of, coursework and being present for the material in that experience. And really the pressure to accumulate those clinical hours and the sheer exhaustion of it all. I was juggling school and my traineeship and, building that caseload. But I was also substitute teaching, got to make that money, right? And trying to be present for my kids and my community. And the exam itself was overwhelming as well, right? The preparation for it. And yes, there was imposter syndrome throughout that time. And now that I've passed that, there's a wave of relief, excitement, that sense of accomplishment. And that looming what's next feeling. And along with that feeling, I feel like it's important to acknowledge that sometimes when we're feeling uncertain, we can fall into maladaptive coping mechanisms. That's a mouthful. But really, it's those unhealthy coping skills that we learned, because we all got them. And these are those behaviors that we might turn to for a quick fix. But that can cause harm, like more harm in the long run, right? And sometimes we might overwork or scroll through social media endlessly or isolate ourselves or binge watch, right? Season after season. And it's so accessible and easy, and it's right there. And these might just give us a moment of relief, right? But they often leave us feeling more depleted. Be honest with yourself. And you don't have to be honest with me, but be honest with yourself. What are some of the ways that you tend to cope when you're feeling uncertain or overwhelmed? I'm already learning to find gratitude for this process. Even during the challenges, I was still feeling this enormous sense of gratefulness for the opportunity to learn and grow and to really stretch myself in that way, for the chance to practice in my own way. I am grateful for the quiet mornings and making a conscious effort to savor the small moments. And that is a practice that we have all been playing with here at the sanctuary. Gratitude can take many forms. And it's worth exploring the different ways to integrate it into your life. And I believe we started this month with imagining what gratitude could look like for you. You might try writing in a gratitude journal or taking a gratitude walk in nature, or simply expressing appreciation to those around you. And I feel like that's one of those little things that we might overlook, but it feels extremely meaningful to the person on the other side. You could take it a step further, and you might even take a moment to write a thank you note, a handwritten note, just to someone who supported you. That feels luxurious. And to really support myself, I made a huge change. I started waking up between 5 and 5:30, and so that gave me like an extra hour and a half, so that it would give me time to work out and make myself my juice and smoothie and sit in meditation before the day's demands really kicked in. It's a way of grounding myself, creating this space for quiet and reflection, and making sure I'm not always rushing from one thing to the next, because I really value being present. And so that means I need to be present for myself. And there is no right way here. This is what is working for me now. And so when I'm having this conversation with you, I wonder if you can also be flexible with that for yourself. This is what is working for me right now. We do not have to be locked into a specific routine for the rest of our lives. Let's be a little bit flexible. Let's be a little bit playful. So gratitude is what really helps us navigate the river, even when the waters are rough. It's what helps us embrace each season, from winter's quiet to spring's new beginnings. It's what helps us to see the bigger picture and to really trust in the flow. And for me, this has meant embracing new opportunities and the quiet moments that are so meaningful. It's about recognizing the support from my family and supervisors and mentors. And more than anything, I'm grateful for the opportunity to connect with others and contribute to the field, or really the human experience. It's a practice that helps me stay grounded, focused, inspired. And I've been inviting you along for that ride, and it has been a constant invitation for you to try it out without judgment. So I have a bit of a surprise practice. This is like a double practice session for us. I'm just kind of throwing it in here today. I really enjoy guided visualizations for myself and for the people that I support. I like to use my imagination and to remind others to use theirs too. And so we're doing a little bit more of that today. And I'm inviting you to take a moment to connect with the power of gratitude. I want you to imagine that you're standing at a crossroads. And you can do this with your eyes open or closed. And so, yes, you're imagining that you're standing at a crossroads, whatever that looks like for you. You've reached the end of a path. It could be a physical path, whatever comes to eye's mind. Perhaps it's a goal, whatever it is. And then you notice that sensation, that thought of what's next. And the feeling kind of takes over and it's really present in your body. What are you experiencing now? Take a deep breath in, a slow breath out. Allow yourself to see the river in front of you again. It's wide and beautiful, this river. And the sun is above. It's shining bright and it's warm. You can feel the heat of it on your body. In the water, it's so crystal clear. Just notice. What are you experiencing? Is there any tension in your body? Any places that you need to soften? And if so, maybe you allow yourself to feel the sunshine again on your face. And notice what being present there feels like for you. And giving yourself permission to release any tension as you embrace the peace that comes from knowing you're part of the flow. Surrendering to the flow. And if your eyes weren't already closed, I invite you to close them now if it feels right. And think of 3 things you are grateful for. And maybe make them related to this journey. What did you learn? What did you overcome in that crossroads? Who helped you along the way? And so hopefully you took some time to get curious about it all, or maybe you allowed yourself to reconvene with your journal. And if your eyes are still closed, I invite you to gently open them. And as you do, think of one thing that you are excited about for the future. What opportunities are opening up for you? What new possibilities are there to explore? And just allowing yourself to come back, and as you do, taking a deep breath in and letting it go. And perhaps you continue to sit with our reflection questions for the end of February. There were so many of them today. Asking yourself to stretch big and look into those spaces, those crevices that just need a little of a tuning to. Once again, thank you for being here, either on Apple Podcast or YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a session here at the Sanctuary. I'm still welcoming your experience. I want to hear your sanctuary voice. What does healing look like for you? Or whatever else you want to share, because I'm here for it. You can connect at the Sanctuary with mariahmiles@gmail.com. That's all together, no spaces. Or head over to IG, that's at my_Mariah. And until next time, embrace each breath. And remember, our bodies have this innate wisdom, the beautiful ability to heal itself. And we heal best in community. Peace, y'all. While this podcast may feel like a therapeutic conversation, it is important to note that it is not a substitute for professional therapy or mental health. The information shared here is intended solely for educational purposes and should not be used as a replacement for personalized mental health care. Although I am a therapist, I'm not acting as your therapist in this setting. If you are in need of support, please reach out to a qualified mental health professional.